What does Naruto, Dragon Ball, Bleach, One Piece, what do those all have in common? I'll tell you what, a cool power system that breaks the laws of physics. Now here's the dealio. I've never made a power system. Hence this video's existence. My first attempt at making a power system for a future novel or book or whatever I decide to do with it. Now here's the thing. I've never written a book or a novel. Or made a power system. But that doesn't mean that I can't do it. So why not give it a shot and document what I have so far? The typical power system falls into mostly what is considered magic. Now, magic is cool and can do a lot of cool stuff, but what does the process look like in creating your own system? This shit was hard as hell to create, so if you wouldn't mind leaving some suggestions in the comments below, and please be nice, Jesus Christ almighty. So if you could think of any changes that I should make to the system, please leave a nice comment down below and just let me know what you would add to it or what you would change about it. Anyways, let me quit stalling and let's get into the actual video. So when we think about things like power systems, we probably think about the first thing that comes to mind, which is probably Dragon Ball and its ki system. Now, ki from a first glance looks super duper underwhelming, but at the end of the day, it is what feels like a basic power system. You train, you get stronger, you use super flashy moves, and then boom, your emotions push you further beyond your limits. That's the typical anime bullshit. Now with Naruto, we have the chakra system, which is just a smidgen more advanced than ki is. Now, chakra has the affinities, right? That the chakra natures that people are attached to. Kakashi is lightning, and for some reason earth. Sasuke is fire and lightning. Naruto is wind. Like, fantastic examples. So water, earth, fire, wind, and lightning for shits and giggles. And then there's really advanced shit like Nen. Fucking Nen, dude. Hunter x Hunter is cool because of how advanced Nen is. Nen is a system that allows for individuality and creative expression. There's lots of shit that Nen can do. How many times am I gonna say Nen in this video? This is probably where it stops. And unfortunately for YouTube, I do not feel like explaining that shit. But I made a bet with a friend that I could make a power system better or cooler than Nen. There you go. I'll throw a counter up or something. I don't know. But before we continue, please make sure you punch that like and subscribe button. That would be absolutely fantastic. There's a little graphic down here or something. I don't remember. But please do that. We're on our way to 500 subscribers, so it'd be fantastic if you helped us onto that journey. Anyways, enjoy the video. To be 100% honest with you, this power system probably isn't as cool or cooler than Nen. But what matters is that I tried. So what I wanted to do was challenge myself as a creative. So I wanted to write a story just in general, and this gave me something else to do and make the world more interesting. But the real question is, have I started writing? No. Why, you may be asking? Because I don't know. Fuck, I don't know. Yeah. I'll start writing soon, I swear. But today I will talk about my power system. I think that that's pretty cool and interesting and what people will care about more until I get my world ready to go. Now, the power system is called Ethereal Edge. Now, the interesting part about Ethereal Edge is that it has the cool anime bullshit. You know, things like big strong attacks and flashy moves and an energy that drives it. The typical mumbo-jumbo that you get from most anime power systems. So, it's pretty much just a normal anime power system. Anyway, let me get down to the breakdown of it all, because I've thought long and hard about this system. For the TLDW, the too long didn't watch, I'm just using slang guys, Ethereal Edge is a power system where people use a life energy called Vera. Now I'll tell you how Vera came to be. A myth in the universe says that 5 ancient spirits fought against an evil god who tried to control all living creatures. The spirits won, but the battle cost them their lives. When they fell, their powers seeped into the land, crystallizing into what we now call Vera, the life energy that fuels everything. With Vera crystals, a man known as the Great One consumed water from a river with these crystals inside of them, giving him Vera. Now, at the current moment, there's not much known about what happens between the time when the Great One consumes these crystals until he creates the next big thing. And the next big thing is called a conduit. A conduit is a vessel for someone's Vera. So it's a weapon that allows Vera to be used like magic. Kind of weird. It's not a wand. It's like an actual weapon. So like a sword or silly other things. Hello, kitty. Now, for the people who didn't understand it, conduits are a weapon that is unique to the person. Once you bond with the conduit, it's yours. Now, in the countries that I have for my story, the countries have different conduits. So for Valiscar, which is where the main part of the story takes place, they use swords as conduits. So typically for combat purposes, which is a big ass duh, but when paired with an affinity, I'll talk about that more later, become weapons of mass destruction. For a place called Crystalia, which is a work in progress name, kind of mid-ass name anyway, they use rosaries as conduits. So typically they're used for creation purposes. The way that I have it listed on my doc here is it's like ice make magic from fairy tale. Yeah, that's kind of how I want it to be, and you can see the kind of the direct correlations. Mechanica, they use cogs, kind of part of another place that is a work in progress. They use cogs, so they create machines and they use their cogs to power the machines, and I think that that's pretty cool. And then there's a place called Zongu, Zonggu. They don't use conduits, instead their body is the conduit. So they allow Vera to rush through their body, kind of like strengthening them and reinforcing their body. But with that out of the way, we can go ahead and knock into affinities. Affinities are elements. Every power system, I feel like, has like some form of element for the most part. Magic does. I know that Black Clover has it, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, affinities are elements that someone unleashes. Most people only have one. That's probably still the case. The most common are fire, water, earth, and air, kind of like Naruto. But there are subsidies that are looked down upon, specifically in Valiscar, which is kind of a big deal. Because in Valiscar, the whole like political chain is that they look down upon people who don't fit within the society. So let's say that you had glass as your affinity, and you just kind of get fucked. Like they literally hate you, and you live on the outskirts of town. Things like shadow, ice, and steel are looked down upon because they are not clean or worthy. Even though someone can't control what affinity they get, they are heavily scrutinized and even harassed by noblemen. Almost pretty much what I just said, and it was kind of redundant that I said it anyway. Your affinity is unlocked sometime after you bond with your conduit. Not everyone unlocks an affinity though, and these people are typically hired as personal bodyguards to defend the nobleman leaders. You might be asking why. You know, well, Well, you might be asking, how does one come upon a conduit? The answer is by attending a school called the Great Ones Academy. Now, each country has one of these, but each one teaches a different teaching of the Great One. There are several in the world, but for now, we'll just focus on the main country of Valiscar. At the Academy, a ceremony is held. The highest ranking Vera control... Oh, shit. What did I just write there? What the fuck? So the highest ranking students in their first year class on Vera control, they get to go first in picking their conduits. This is important because for the main character, everyone tries to pick the one that he ends up obtaining later. Anyways, conduits are super important because they are tied to the the user's life and their Vera specifically. I mention this because destroying a conduit is really, really bad. If anyone destroys a conduit, it can kill a user. This is called Vera overrun. When a person's conduit is destroyed in battle or forcibly extracted and destroyed, this causes a surge of Vera to rush back into the person's body. The person's brain is flooded with Vera, allowing for one more thought before their body gives out. They have approximately 8 seconds before they die, but in that time they practically become godlike. Within these 8 seconds, one's body breaks and cracks with each movement. The job now being whatever was left on the mind of the overrun, or the overrunnee. So, for example, if somebody is like about to somebody breaks the conduit, the thought is either fight, kill, protect, whatever, the typical shonen jump bullshit. But what happens is that person's body works to do that until the job is done or the 8 seconds are up. Now, it is survivable, but not without removing that person's arm, because that's just how I want it to work. Leaving the wielder, for 1, armless, and for 2, unable to bond with another conduit, so that fucking sucks for them. Now, here's the thing, you can't have one power system without having a second one. Haha. I mean, you can, but fuck you, I do what I want, so I did it anyway. The counter system is called Dominion. Dominion is about assertion and being able to assert yourself over your opponent. Now, this is interesting because it's almost a complete ripoff of hockey, but I made minor changes. The 3 expressions are awareness, reinforcement, and imposition. Awareness, in the basic form, is you can sense the Vera of others. Their presence, strength, even killing intent. The advanced version is you start to anticipate movement, reading the flow of Vera before the attacks even happen. And then mastery, you reach what's called aura vision. You don't just read intent, you shape perception itself. Your presence becomes untrackable or completely oppressive. And very rarely do people master it, and I mean, there's probably gonna be like 1 or 2 people who have mastered this thing. Because otherwise it'd be too broken. Now, reinforcement in its basic form is you harden your body with Vera. Pretty cool. Makes you tougher and lets you fight edge users barehanded. That's pretty cool, right? The advanced form is you can imbue that Vera into weapons, letting you clash evenly with conduits or elemental edge. Mastery is your Vera becomes so dense it can erase elemental or corrupt edge. Corrupt edge is something very different, and I will probably not talk about that in this video. I don't remember. It doesn't block attacks, it just completely deletes them. And then there's imposition, and imposition is cool because it is pretty much just Conqueror's hockey. The basic form is you can project your will outward, you can project your Vera outward, creating a pressure field that disrupts weaker opponents. Doesn't knock them out because that's kind of crazy and stupid. Anyways, advanced is you start overpowering their Vera flow, knocking enemies off balance, even short-circuiting their conduits, which is kind of a big deal in the middle of battle. And then mastery is you can absorb or suppress another person's Vera entirely, reducing their ethereal edge to nothing. Not necessarily taking it all away, but you're turning it into you're basically just turning it off temporarily. So like when Neji uses the Byakugan and hits all the pressure points, or the chakra points, and it just shuts off. Like I said though, I made some minor changes. And you see, hockey is all about inner will. It's spiritual. Where Dominion is more about the physical, raw control of your Vera. It is your will fused with your Vera. Your life energy turned outward. Where hockey strengthens the body and spirit, Dominion bends to the will of the battlefield itself. When you activate it, the air gets heavier, people's Vera reacts to yours, and weaker users can literally suffocate on your control of your Vera. But with that power comes a catch, of course. The moment your focus wavers, your Dominion starts to basically eat you from the inside out. Your aura turns unstable, burns hotter than your body can handle, and before you know it, you're bleeding from the nose trying to keep control. Dominion's not about enlightenment like hockey, it's about dominance. You either command the room or it consumes you. Thank you guys for watching. Please make sure you leave a like and a comment, and maybe hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed the video. Don't be afraid to say what you think is good and what isn't. I'm not gonna get hurt feelings. Now, if you're mean about it, I might cry a little bit, but whatever. But anyways, thank you guys again for watching, and I'll see you in a different video. Peace.